So we're going to subtract 4x from both sides because 4 is smaller than 7. I want to put the variable on the side with a larger, larger amount of terms. So that's, the net effect of this is it saves me the hassle of having to divide by a negative, which means you got to think about the inequality and flip it, etc. I've got my variable on one side, so I'll put the constant on the other side. Subtract 9 from both sides, I get negative 12 is less than or equal to 3x. What do I have to do to finish up? Divide by 3. Do I have to reverse the direction in inequality when I divide by 3? No, because you're dividing by a positive 3. If you're dividing by a negative 3, then you'd have to reverse it. Now the fact that you're dividing into negative 12 doesn't matter. We get negative 4 is less than or equal to x. I want you to graph this. Now there was a little trick that I gave you in graphing these things. Do you remember what that trick was? Yeah, let's reverse the direction of this inequality so that I put the variable on the left. So that's going to be x here, negative 4 here. What goes in between these things? What symbol? Thank you. Greater than or equal to. Now the benefit of flipping it around like this is that it's going to help you graph this. How does it help you graph this? What does it do for me? Yeah, it shows you where the arrow goes. So I'm just going to put a negative 4 right here. Solid dot or a hollow dot for something like this? There's a mixture on that. Solid, because you're including that, so we'll fill it in. And you're right that the arrow points in the direction that the graph goes. So there you go. Everything greater than or equal to negative 4. Alhamdulillah, right? There you go. All right. So let's take a look at this next one. Now this next one I purposely put here because here we could avoid dividing by a negative by moving everything to the right-hand side, the side with a bigger coefficient. Here we can't. Here we're just stuck. So we're going to take and divide both sides by negative 2. Now, Cardell, you were working on this one with me earlier. What happens when you divide by negative 2? What special thing is going to happen? All right, yeah, we're going to get a negative on the left-hand side, and a negative divided by a negative is going to be positive. What other special thing that you noticed when we worked on this one? Yeah, it flips the direction of that sign. So now you get negative 4 is less than x. Okay, let's play our same game. If we flip this around, what would that look like? X is greater than negative 4. So again, putting that on the left-hand side to make it a little easier for me to graph. So when I graph these things, I typically am kind of a minimalist. I just draw exactly the only thing I need, which is a negative 4. Negative 4 in this case gets a hollow dot, empty circle, and then arrow to the right. So they're pretty similar in their solutions. The only difference is that this includes the negative 4, this one doesn't. All right, let's take a look at this next one here. Another painting kind of thing, or hanging one. So I'm going to sketch in blue. This is the width of all my pictures. And in yellow, this is going to be my spaces. The total length of this wall is 73 inches. So it's going to be 73 inches equals, well, I got 4 of these pictures. Each picture is 12 inches wide. So it's going to be 4 times 12. Plus all these spaces. Do we know how much space is in between? I guess the answer is yes. Do we know how much space? So I'll put an X here for the moment. You've got 5 of those. But 4 times 12 is 48, so I'll subtract 48 from both sides. And I end up with 25 equals 5x. divided by 5, divide both sides by 5, and I'll get 5 equals x. So 5 inches of space between each of those, so that's great. Now, if that's 5 inches, and this is 6 inches, my first nail goes here at 11 inches. So we put that 11 inches here. Looking good. Well, let's figure out how far to my next nail. I'm going to have another 6 inches plus 5 inches plus 6 inches again, right? So how far is that in total? 17. If my first one is at 11, what's a nice way to write this so that I get the next one? We're putting this into a spreadsheet. I know the first one's at 11. There's a couple ways you can do this. Equals B1 plus 17. Yeah, be B3 the way we've got this written. So B3 plus 17. Thank you. Yeah, and now that's a formula that you can drag down, right? Because each time to get to the next one, you're going to be doing the same thing. You're going to be adding 6 and 5 and 6. That's another 17. And then another 17 after that. So once you have this formula, great. You can just keep on adding 17 to get the rest of these nails, or the locations of the rest of those nails. So, nice. Nice. We're looking okay on that one? Anything on the front that was still bothering you? Slope was 3. The equation for this one on the slope was, the points was 3 times x plus 4, where x was the number of problems you got correct. So 3 points per problem plus 4 for signing your name. And then you can solve a couple problems after that. Okay. Any other comments on your little review here? All right.
Are you going to put this on D2L?
I'm going to put this on D2L and YouTube.